Okay guys, so we're going to be doing some prison hooch. Just doing this for a laugh, so nothing sterilised. We're going to try and do this as authentic as possible. Don't be angry at me guys, like I say, I'm not really going to drink this. I might have a taste of it, but it's just something to play about with, something to have a bit of fun with. Right, so the canteen has been really good to us today. We've had some brown bread for breakfast to make our toast, which we've managed to hide from the screws. They've gave us some orange juice to help wash down our breakfast, which we've also managed to hide from the screws. And for our tea, they've been giving us little sachets of sugar, which we've been collecting in this jar, or should I say the wife filled up not too long ago, and if she finds out that I've nicked this particular jar, she's gonna be pissed. So for this video, she will now be known as the warden. We must hide from the warden. Okay, so we're in prison and our supplies are limited. What are we going to do? We need yeast, obviously, to ferment out our beverage. So we're going to take some hot water. Normally, I guess you could get that from the hot water tap. Bearing in mind, we've got no steriliser. Sterilisation isn't a big problem right now. So we're just going to put some hot water, very hot water. It's probably going to burn my fingers actually. Didn't give the kettle long enough to let that cool down. We're going to take a slice of our brown bread and we're just going to submerge that in the water. And we're going to let that sit. Actually, what I'll do, because this is going to take a little while, not too long, but maybe about, you know, sort of 10 minutes or so, we're going to cut to that, and then I'll show you what we want to do with the last piece of bread when we get to that point. So we'll see you in a short while guys. Alright, hi guys. So we're back again then. This has been sitting 10 minutes. I've just took the other bread out. Just going to put this last one in quickly to show you what we're doing. So that was our warm water, and all we're doing is we're putting our brown bread in, and we're making a mush, and as you can see it's got that lovely brown colour. And the reason we're doing this is, like I say, we're in prison, resources are very limited, and we need some yeast in order to ferment our hooch. So by putting this in the water, we're reactivating the yeast in the bread, and we're drawing it out of the bread, and it's going to sit there quite comfortably, warm water, until we need it. So that's what we've done. We've made a mush, and hopefully we've cultivated enough yeast in that to get us going. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to be able to feed our yeast. So we're going to take some sugar. The last one Mrs. has got roughly about 200 grams, I think, in there. I did weigh it up. I was hoping for about 250, but it ain't going to matter. It's not like we're going to be drinking it. Well, not properly anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and pour that in there while that's still nice and warm. And we're going to try and swirl that around now. We're going to try and get that to dissolve in the water. It's probably going to take a bit of coaxing. Water's cooling down a fair bit now. In fact, tell you what we'll do, put some more warm. There we go. Like I say guys, don't be too mad at me because I haven't sanitised anything here. Like I say, I mean this really is just a bit of fun. So, yep, there we go. That feels like that's all dissolved. Okay, so yeah, we've got to ferment this. And we haven't got any demijohns or anything particularly useful, so we've got to use what's available. And what we've got available is a Coca-Cola bottle. So I'm going to do this out edge so I don't make a mess. What we're going to do then is we're going to pour our mixture. Actually, that sugar at the bottom now hasn't dissolved. I don't actually know why I'm struggling so much, because I did get this out earlier. So there's a bit more water in there than I'd actually wanted, but like I say, for the purposes of experimenting, it really don't matter. So we're going to use our orange juice, and we're just going to go ahead and pour that in there. It's not quite a litre in there, I couldn't quite fit it all in. That doesn't matter. Give that a bit of a shake. Now when you put the lid on, if you do it up tight, what's going to happen is the fermenting on that, if I've got the yeast out of the brown bread properly, is going to go absolutely ape. So what you want to do, leave it loose, not completely open, but loose enough so that the CO2 can escape, and check that probably 3 times a day just to make sure that it is escaping. We'll leave that for about, I don't know, we'll say 2 weeks. Normally, you know, 2 weeks is a good time for fermenting. Try and leave it somewhere warm. So I'm just going to put this on the shelf for now. Later on I'm going to probably stick it in front of a radiator or something to really get it going. If you do have a go at this for a laugh, make sure you put something underneath it, because if you've ever seen a blowout, or if you've ever had a blowout, you'll know that it gets quite messy, and you certainly don't want that on your floor. There you go, guys. Just a bit of fun, and just have a go. If I've done anything wrong, or if you know better, let me know what I've done wrong. Tell me what I could have done better, and yeah, we'll see how it comes out. It's not looking too tempting at the moment to actually drink it, but if the need arises. Cheers, guys. Okay, guys, prison hooch. It's been about 3 weeks now since we made this. That's not too bad. It took a while for this to get going. Oh, there it goes. No, that's going to settle, that's fine. It took a while for this one to get going. I suppose taking the yeast out of the... Oh, God, that stinks. Taking the yeast out of the bread I suppose it was always going to take a while to get going. But when it did get going, that was mad fermentation. There's a couple of times, I dare say that if I hadn't been quick, that could have exploded. It was that bad. And I mean, that's a plastic bottle, so that's how bad it was. Oh god, there's a load of crud at the top. I don't even know what that is. So, what's it smell like? Well, if that's horrible. If I suppose sick is probably the best way I could describe that. That is certainly not a session drink. Strength wise, I didn't do a hydrometer test. I didn't test the gravity, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that that's strong. Oh god, that really is. So let's have a pour. Oh, bits of brown bread got in there as well. Do you know, I'm going to tip that out. I'm going to pour that again. Another lump.
It's full of it.
I know. Oh, there's got to be a little bit in there somewhere that I can just pour enough that. Sorry. There we go. That's not too bad. So there's our prison hooch. Now, guys, there is no way on earth I'm going to swallow that. I would be ill. But I will do a taste. Angel, move in case I need to get to the sink.
Angel, move.
Move, pup.
Good girl. Come here.
Okay.
Angel. That was the most pathetic thing I've seen.
Actually, surprisingly, taste-wise, it's not too bad.
He says after he just spat it out.
Well, that's going to be infected with all sorts of bacteria. You didn't film the video, so bugger off. Yeah, taste-wise, it's actually not too bad. It's like a fizzy, diluted orange juice. Do you remember the old Kiora orange juice and the cordials? It's like a fizzy version of that. Actually, now the initial smell's got it, it's not too bad either. I think that initial burst of gas might have clouded it and made it worse, but it'll scrape. Guys, if you don't mind getting caught short and having to run to the toilet very, very fast indeed, it's not terrible. Am I going to make any more? No, I'm not even going to drink it. But it's surprisingly not as bad as I thought. If I trusted it, I might actually drink it, but there's been no sterilising or anything, so I mean, I don't trust it. But not as bad as I thought that was going to be. Just to be sure, I'm going to wash my mouth out. So, yeah, I suppose if I was in a scrape, I could see the appeal of that. Doesn't taste as bad as I thought it would. But since I'm not in a scrape, I'm not going to drink it. Happy Hungry Wednesday, guys.